Alright, welcome to week 1 of the Aquaville series, and we're finally in a new area, and we got quite a bit to do, so let's quickly go over it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the recommended tab, and they move quite a few areas so it's much easier to get to, starting with casual. So here you'll notice that they took out quite a few sections and they added it to that recommended tab, but we'll go over that later in the video. But starting with artificial island, you want to make sure that you hit this present icon so that way you get your resources because you can only hold them for 24 hours. On top of that, once it hits 12 Eastern, you want to check in this area and see if you have an old man icon. So that way you can get some free resources. And the old man does have the new Titan materials. But if you don't have an old man icon, be sure to check your friends or crewmates or people out in the world as long as they give you access. And if you need more information on that, be sure to check out this video. But even with all that, you still want to go to your island at least once a week. Once inside, you want to hit on the triangular icon and you want to visit the exchange store. And make sure you buy your weekly and monthly items. You also want to get in the habit of killing your enemies so that way you can get your resources, but at the very least, kill the bosses. And if you're doing the Pokemon system, you want to make sure that you feed your pets at least once a day. Bringing us to fishing. So ideally, you want to try to get your fishing level to 9. That way you can buy the weekly standard matrix. And if you're just starting out, you want to buy 100 to 150 green bait, and with the rest of your available bait, you want to buy purple bait. Next, we have Ronnie the resource dealer. And again, if you have non-yin, you might want to consider putting a teleporter here so that way it's easier to get to him. If you're a vote main, you want to make sure you buy your mini pelican shards so that way you get it to level 4. And you still want to try to buy your energy every week. And same for the potent omnium crystal. And if you have trouble getting the materials, remember you can always buy these from the Mentorship store. Bringing us to appointed research, to where you want to check this at least every other day so that way your energy does not cap, because you can only hold 20 energy so that way you can keep getting your 5 free energy a day. And then we have racing, to where if you need Mira, you might want to try to do this at least once every month, because if you're able to get into the top 100, you can get 400 Mira at the end of the month. Bringing us to the ambassador section, to where every Monday you can try to be the ambassador for the week by either using your gold, your dominion, or Mira in each of the sections, and if you're the top bidder, you get to be the ambassador for the week. But again, that is a drain on resources, so if you don't have a lot, I don't recommend that you do this system. And finally, bringing us to the trap section, to where if you're doing the Pokemon system, you might want to take advantage of your daily capture experience every day and try to get every level to 6, because you never know when they're going to add new monsters to each section. And a reminder to the people that are doing the Pokemon system, the season does end on 2/14. But even if you're not that into the Pokemon system, I still recommend that you do it, so that way you can at least buy this random vehicle box where you have a chance to get random mounts. They even added mushroom mounts inside this box as well. But if you do end the season in the top 10, then you're able to pick one of these mounts. I was lucky enough to get first place last season, so I got the Champion Tamer title, as well as the Quillen mount. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the other sections in this recommended tab. So you have your daily bounties, and you always want to choose Domain 9 so that way you can get the keys. You have Mia's Kitchen, and you want to make sure that you do that every day. If you have not already cleared out your ruins, you can quickly get there from here. Here's also an easy way to get to the map. And then we have a new section, the Overworld, which will bring you to this page to where you can find random bosses to fight. You can teleport to the gachapon machines, or you can get to the marketplace much easier. And with it being a new month, be sure to check out your monthly items that you need for the month and sell them at the best deal possible. And do the same with vendors and look if they have any good deals on materials. And you want to make sure that you do your 3 clear stream machine, to where you can get these to spawn by killing elites, opening up boxes, or even going for machine parts, because you do have a chance to get some pretty good rewards like red nucleus, special vouchers, and even Titan materials. Which brings us to vitality, starting with joint operations. So you want to make sure that you do this at least once a day, so that way you can get your Pabuella Arcilla shards in drives. But you still want to get in the habit of checking out this instance fix, to where this week it was Friday, so hopefully on Thursday you're able to save your vitality, so that way you can take advantage and get a lot of those Scylla shards. But one thing to note this patch is that in Balance JO, we're also able to get this currency, which we can use for the store for the special event this week. So you might want to try to do at least one Balance JO every day. Next, we have Interstellar Exploration, and you want to check Vera as well as check Aspera. And you're looking for level 3 or level 2 stargates, and how you're able to tell what stargate it is by looking at the stars above the stargates. But if you don't have any level 3s or level 2s, you could always do dimensional trials and simply press go and do quick battle. And you can do the same for Matrix data packs and go. Which brings us to our optionals, and that's giving gifts to your 1.0 characters. And the best way to do that is to go to the black market and talk to Hopkins, see this island and do the claw machine, or knock out your 2 trainings for the day. And if you're low on Mira, then you might want to try to do your 8 fun zones for the day as well. But one thing that is not optional are your security force missions, because you can get old Vera coins in Mira. And if you have not already cleared out the gray space, you might want to try to knock out your 6 gray space fishers. But the biggest rewards are in the Twilight Zone, but you do have an 8-hour time limit, so you could wait on this. Bringing us to the events, and of course the premier character is Plotti. If you want to find out more about how our kit works, be sure to check out this video. And with it being the 1.5 anniversary, we now can pick up any character that has been in the game. So with that, I'm going to try to catch up the tier list this week so that way you can see how each character ranks. And we have a Plotti Pacific Gachapon, which is going away in 2 days, so if you're interested in this, be sure to roll on it. But do make sure that you use Tanium, because it costs much more if you use Dark Crystals. And then we have the big events. So where starting out, you have a store to where you can turn in items and you can get a few rewards. If you click on the Beyond Horizons tab, you have your Challengers task list, so of course you want to make sure that you do that so that we can get all the rewards down here. And then you have the version delivery to where you need to do all the new features in the patch so that we can get all the rewards. And then we have our main event, with the first one being Perfect Convoy, to where you're on a boat and you're just trying to contribute to killing the enemies. So for this event, I recommend that you use a team that does a lot of AoE damage. And sadly, the second event came a little bit after the patch, so for the people that quickly rode on Plotti, didn't get to really take advantage of this event. But if you do certain things in the game, you're going to be able to get a few extra coins, but you don't necessarily have to do this one to clear the event. But you want to make sure that you do not skip on this event, because you're able to get things like a red nucleus, a new vehicle, and the new advancement modules and booster modules to level up your gear, as well as other great materials. Also, Jana/U now is in the test server, so expect to see a pool pass video before she releases. Then we got Mentorship. You want to make sure that you're taking your mentees out each week so that way you can eventually graduate them so that you can get some very good rewards. And make sure that you take at least 1 mentee with you so that way you can do the co-op missions. And when it comes to the store, you want to make sure that you buy your Titan compiling module, your data repeaters, your equipment boxes, and if you have excess coins, radar detectors. And as stated earlier, if you need research kits, be sure to pick up that. Bringing us to Aquaville, to where you want to try to level up the statues in this order. And if you want to find out more about that, be sure to check out Michichuk's video, and I'll leave a link down in the description. But one thing to take note of is you want to go to this mine once you got the first statue to level 6 so that way you can get the energy field collector. There are 5 down there, and you want to make sure you get that so that way you can get quite a bit of energy for the week. And don't forget to do the same thing down here in Marshville so that we can get the energy there, because in this new patch you can use energies from other sections to get a lot of materials once you make it inside here. Then we have our weekly tab. You want to make sure that you do enough things down here so that we can get everything up top, but do note that the battle pass is resetting next week. So Monday, you want to make sure that you do not collect your weekly activity up top until Wednesday when the new battle pass is active. Bringing us to challenges, starting with Bygone Phantasm. And again, you want to take a look at your weapon bonus, and if you have a good weapon bonus, then you might want to try to climb a few levels. And if your CS is high enough, then you might be able to do this sneak to next level and jump up 11 levels as long as you can beat the floor. But the biggest thing that will determine your rank is Sequential Phantasm. If you're able to get a high score here, most likely you're going to get the top rewards for the week. Wormhole. Now we have a little over 3 days to go ahead and complete this, so you want to make sure that you do, so that way you can get those exoskeleton shards. Frontier Clash. You want to make sure that you knock this out so that way you can get that golden gear. Frontier Evolution. Now we have a new season, so you want to try to get a strong team together and at least beat floor number 3 so that way you can get all of those extra rows for Plotti. Origin of War. Now the difficulty is dropping, so be sure to get your team together and knock this out so that we can get all of the rewards. Void Rift. Now we're in a new month, so you want to make sure that you do this so that we can get that extra energy. Void Abyss. We're in a new month, so you want to make sure that you get your team together, and if you were having a hard time before, it should be much easier now. Raid. You want to make sure that you knock this out on challenge, because now we're able to get new advancement modules and booster modules, and you don't get as many on heroic. Break from Destiny. You want to make sure that you do this before the month ends so that way you get 250 dark crystals. And how you're able to tell is by clicking on this information tab and seeing if you did it. Arena. If you're trying to reach Grand Marshal, you might want to put a couple hours in each day so that way you can reach it. And you might still want to play both of these modes at least weekly so that way you can get some critical points. Then we got our daily buys, so you want to go to shop and take a look if your monthly pass is active, because this is one of the best deals in the game. For my Dolphins, you want to try to make sure that your weekly pass is active, because this is also a very good deal in the game. And then we have the hot section. When it comes to Vitality Solutions, I recommend that you buy no more than 2, because if you do that, you're basically giving up 21 rows every time a new character comes out. But if you need booster modules or advanced modules, you can consider buying those. And now let's quickly talk about the limited gift pack. Pretty much all the ones that you can buy for money that have red nucleus or special vouchers are a pretty good deal. But if you do need proof of purchases, you could consider maybe picking something up like this dollar one. But when it comes to the character specific ones, these are a good deal because you can build up your pity, guarantee you an SSR. But if you're about to get one anyway, then you might want to skip these. But besides that, when it comes to determining the best deal, I would take the Tanium divided by the number of rows. And the best deals are something close to 60 Tanium, and the worst deals are something close to 150 Tanium. So take for example this red nucleus pack that's extra large. It's 6480 divided by 60 equaling 108. So that one is closer to 150, so it's not the greatest deal. But it does come with the Titan compiling module, so that may make it better for you. But one thing to keep in mind when you are purchasing these packs, do note that there's going to be some more packs coming on February 8th and February 9th, so you might want to save some Tanium or money so that way you can purchase these as well. Bringing us to the Commissary, starting with the Crystal Dust Store. So you want to make sure you buy your very special gift. You're putting Omnium Crystal, your Advanced Module, your Booster Module, your Augmentation Box 3, and your Augmentation Box 2 in Augmentation Factor. Space Time Store, you want to buy your Advanced Module, your Booster Module, your Data Repeater, and your IP Shards if you have extra crystal fragments. Peru Store, now the only thing that I recommend that you spend your points on are relics, and the relics that I recommend are either Omnium Shield or Space Time Red. But if you have excess points, you can consider buying put-in Omnium Crystals. Support Store, with your points, you can buy Space-Time Crystal Fragments, Gold, and even Black Nucleus if you have a lot of excess points. And with your returner points, you can buy Space-Time Crystal Fragments, Proof of Purchase, and if you have excess, you can consider buying Gold Nucleus or Radar Detectors. Point Store, now the only thing that you should spend your points on are special gifts, so that way you don't have to do training, black market, or see this island again. But if you need to level up your matrices or weapons, you could always buy matrix data packs or weapon batteries. And with your critical points, you want to buy your Veron, and with your excess points, feel free to buy accessory shards. But besides that, I recommend exploring the map so that way you can get those extra resources for the new characters coming up. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If so, feel free to give it a like so that way you can spread more on YouTube. But other than that, I'll talk with you guys later.